And good morning, everybody. We are back again today for a Monday morning chat about leadership. And today I am pleased to, to greet and to introduce to all of you Dr. Vonetta George, all the way from Antigua. I've had the great pleasure of working with her over the last 6 months, and that smile is bright or even brighter today. And I would love to start with asking a question about Vonetta, because you certainly have an interesting story to tell to where you are today. Tell us a little bit about your career path from where you decided maybe in high school that you wanted to be a doctor to where you are today. And again, welcome to the show today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Walter. Thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody, for joining. And so I'm from a small island in the Caribbean, Antigua. We're just 108 square miles, a population just about 100,000. And small island, small people, but we got big dreams. So big dreams. So in secondary school, I used to have some bad periods, the gynecologist will tell you that's dysmenorrhea. I used to end up at the hospital every month. And I watched as they took care of me and as they took care of everybody else. And I said, you know what? I need to do something like this. Perhaps this is what I want to do. I've been in the hospital all the time. I think this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to help everybody else like they're helping me. So with many other things, I decided, medicine is the way to go. And I went to an all-girls school and I thought they were pushing a lot females. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be a gynecologist. I'm going to be a gynecologist, an obstetrician. I'm going to help the women. That's what I'm going to do. And I applied for medical school in Canada. We don't have any medical schools on islands. You always have to leave home. There's no way you could have done medicine in Antigua. So I applied in Canada and everything was set and, I was going to go. And then my older brother had a situation that he needed to go to study mechanical engineering and there's no money. So there's that little setback. I felt a little disappointed. My mother said, well, you can't go to Canada. You're going to go to work. I said, I've seen too many persons go to work and then they get sidetracked and never get to go. And I got to go. So they had some scholarships that they were offering to go to study medicine. And I said, I'll go to Cuba. This was unheard of because Cuba, no one knew so much about Cuba. Cuba is closed off. You heard they might have produced some good doctors, but you don't know. But the stories were crazy. And I went to Cuba in 1998 with the thought that I would not come back home until 6 years after. So I was prepared to go and stay in a place that I knew nothing about for 6 years because they told me I would be able to be a doctor. And to my surprise, Cuba was not as they told me, but it's better than I imagined. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is a dream, And I tried to, soak in as much as I could get. I started early in the hospitals and I realized from working in the emergency room that my love was trauma and surgery. Because I saw patients come in, we fixed them up, they got better and they left. And I thought, wow, that was quick. We just did that. Oh, okay. I think this is what I like to do. So I said, I'm going to be a surgeon. So saying that now, I have to think, after you finish from Cuba, where am I going to do surgery? What am I going to do? And I tried to apply myself and I did. I think I did pretty well because they said, hey, when you're done, why don't you specialize here? Why don't you stay with us? And I said, sure. And so right at the age of 29, I was out of surgery, finishing my residency program. And I came back to Antigua. And I said, I'm here to work. I'm here to offer my services to the people who have done so much for me. And I put my head down to work and I've just done patient care since then. But then what I found is that, I can take care of a patient, take care of one here. Here I interact with patients, the families, friends, but then our health system as a whole needs more work. We have a health crisis. I think, well, it's worldwide, really. Forget the pandemic, but health crisis, problems in healthcare, access, cost, quality. that really need to be fixed. And for small island people, it takes a lot of money that we don't have. And we have, coupled with that, brain drain, a lot of our small island folks who would prefer to live in the big countries. And so, that is something we have to contend with. So I started to equip myself to prepare to influence the health system from a bigger point of view. And I did a master's in healthcare administration because I wanted to learn, the skills that you'd need to put into place to influence a bigger system. And after learning so much, I realized that we don't know anything at all as yet. Thinking that I did medicine, did surgery, been working with patients. After seeing the bigger picture of healthcare management, I realized that the physicians, we ourselves, need that assistance. I'm thankful for mentors. I can say here, thankful to you, Walter, for the mentorship program that I went through, that has given me the ability or some help in, aligning the goals well, properly setting out my roadmap to the things that I need to achieve. And it's not just for me, but my vision is bigger. It's what we need to achieve as a country. And I can tell you the skills that I've learned, I've also put them into organizations that I'm a part of. I'm a part of the Caribbean College of Surgeons, executive body. I'm a part of the Caribbean Society of Endoscopic Surgeons executive body. I'm the chief of surgery. And so all the leadership skills that I've learned, I've put them into all these different aspects of life. And I think that I started to mentor my own physicians, my younger physicians right now. I have a few physicians who meet with me every 2 weeks who are under my supervision. And we go through their goals, we plan out their careers, and we plan out and we see how they would like to grow. So I think this is always something that the physicians should always do. I encourage more physicians to get into mentorship. I'm actually setting up a formal mentorship program here within the hospital for our young physicians.
Excellent. Listen, any father, mother would be extremely proud of the decisions you have made and what you have accomplished at this point in time. And I hope that you take the time to reflect back in the mirror and see what it is that you're doing and the impact you're having, right? Is that I can relate to some extent as a paramedic. I was certainly able to make a difference one patient at a time. But as a leader, you were able to impact the young minds or the early careers, mid-careers, the minds of people, leaders in the making, who would then lead the front line to better outcomes. And that really provides the opportunity to have an impact that is lasting across generations. And that's something to really feel good about. And that, again, the role that you're in today and into the future, that's what it is really all about, right? And we always say it's not about my ego. It is about, being, I call it the simple as pay it forward, right? It's having the ability to share my experience in a meaningful manner so people can benefit from that and continue to learn as I continue to learn, right? Because self-development is not just a one-time. Self-development is a continuous commitment to the work that we do. So great for that. So the second part of the question is that you talked a little bit about your mentorship program at the hospital and having been mentored. How do you see yourself? So as a physician advisor going forward for the Leadership Academy here at the Dutch Mentor, obviously you're going to share your story like you did today, and we will talk about pitfalls and how you overcome that and how to deal with successes as well. But going forward from that, tell us a little bit about what kind of a mentor do you envision yourself to be and what value you can bring to your students going forward?
So first of all, I think one of the biggest issues is confidentiality. I'm not sure everybody has this in every country, but we're a small country. We're a very small group. And I think most people wonder and worry if they open themselves and if they bare themselves, if it stays there or somebody else knows. So I create that safe space. So my mentee feels confident and trust me to be vulnerable, because for you to really get to the root of problems, you have to make yourself vulnerable. You will show all your weakness, your weak points will be seen. So it's like you bare yourself to someone and you must trust that someone. So I create this trusting environment, and so that my mentee knows that that's going to be okay. And I reciprocate, because I usually share of myself too. And I think in sharing, it's not just them talking and me listening, it's really a conversation. And we share, because as we do this, we both grow. It's mutually beneficial. And that mutually, beneficial relationship is what I try to maintain with my mentees, that they can know that the support is there, the trust is there, the confidence is there, that they can come to me at any time with any issue. It doesn't matter what they think it's something that is silly or not. And we can talk it out and we can find solutions to problems together. So that's the kind of environment that I choose to create.
Excellent. I think I could not agree with you more that fiduciary relationship between you and your mentee is exceptionally important, right? And being vulnerable. Over top of that, of course, too, is that mentorship too often is seen as something you do on a quarterly basis or on a monthly basis. Mentorship in a meaningful way, an action-based way, and that's what we advocate for, is to do this on a weekly basis, 20, 30 minutes. And then always have the ability to give me a text, right? To say, Walter, do you have a minute? And that's really what coaching and mentoring is about, is being there for the client,
Available.
and make yourself available, because it is not about making decisions for them, but having that ability for them to be a sounding board. Hey, let me run this by. Am I making the right decision? As they build confidence in their own abilities to execute, right? And that's where we learn as leaders to shift that accountability from me to the performer with some accountability attached to
Right.
it. So great, conversation. Again, we try to keep it to 15, 20 minutes, so we keep people's interest. Obviously, if anybody wants to reach out to you, they can find you through my website, and
Yes.
we can sort of put you in connection with you. As you know, as I know, that you have a bright career ahead, and I'm really glad that we get to work together going forward. Again, thank you for joining us. Any parting words for anybody out there?
I think I will tell you what I love those you lead. I love that.
Those are the truest words, and it makes, if you do that consistently, everything else becomes a whole lot easier in life.